Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on here. I just finished my cardio. And it's been a while since I've shared a couple thoughts, and something that's been on my mind a lot is priorities and how those dictate our actions. Um, a religious leader that I follow shares basically kind of a sequence of how we become something that we want to become. First, it starts with our desires. Our desires dictate what our priorities are. What are the things that are important to us? And then our priorities dictate our actions. And then consistent actions help us become what we want to become. And I just wanted to share that with you as I've been contemplating that. For example, today I had a meeting at 7:30 in the morning, and I knew I wanted to go to the gym today. I've been on a work trip in Portugal, as you guys saw, about a week ago, and then I was on a family vacation after that. And I had to be flexible in how I was going to exercise. I still exercised, but I had to make accommodations. But what I was doing in those day-to-day exercises is I wasn't so rigid in my understanding of what my exercises needed to be. I had to make accommodations. I had to shorten my workouts. I had to, instead of focusing on volume and on the amount of sets that I was doing, I had to focus on intensity, right? Shortening my rest time, throwing in supersets, right? For example, doing chest and back, I would, instead of do a chest exercise and do my 3 sets and rest for 2 minutes between sets, I would do my chest exercise and then I would go do my back exercise and use that as a rest, right? Now I would say those aren't optimal, but it was optimal to the goal that I wanted, right? Doing something is better than nothing. For example, I just got done with my cardio. It's about 12:30 right now. And like I said, I had a meeting at 7:30. And so I knew waking up, unless I wanted to wake up at 4, which I did not want to do because I had to stay up a little bit late last night because I had some family things I wanted to do with my kids. I woke up at 5 to get my workout in, 5 to about 6:30, but I still wanted to do about 40 minutes of cardio. But I knew I wouldn't have time, and the time it took me to travel from the gym, shower, and get ready and be in that meeting, I just knew I wouldn't have time. So what I did was I came back here during my lunch hour and did my cardio and got it done. Now, actually, while I was doing my cardio, I was doing emails on my phone. So that's kind of an example of not being rigid in your execution, right? Know what your desires are, or knowing what your desires are, knows what your priorities are going to be. And in this case, day to day with your workouts, with your career, and then being able to be, the actions you take, being deliberate in the execution side of things. But you can't be rigid, right? And I think it's those people that you see that you're like, wow, how do they get so much done in so little time? It's usually that type of thing. For example, my CEO, I was in a meeting with him. I've been in a few meetings with him, but I was in a meeting with him a couple weeks ago. And I've noticed in a lot of the meetings I'm in with him, he has a background. He always seems to be walking during his meetings. And I actually asked him about, why does it look like you're walking? And he actually has one of those kind of self-step treadmills that he puts under his desk at home so that he can actually he's a very fit person and he wants to be active. And with his heavy work schedule, he wants to get 10,000 steps in a day. But being with his work schedule, he's not able to do that. So for him to do that, be able to get all his emails done, have all his meetings, and execute what he needs to execute, he bought one of those. So I wanted to kind of bring this just to the forefront of your mind, is that, you got to don't be so rigid. You understand what your desires are, what your goals are, what your priorities are, and then you make basically accommodations to your schedule based on those priorities. And if you don't, then you probably won't execute, right? And you'll be one of those people that make excuses. And I'm not saying that out of being merciless. I'm saying that is because this is something that I really struggled with, especially I would say in my 20s personally, right? It was like, okay, why do these people, right, tell me that it's impossible, but these people that seem to accomplish so much more tell me that it is possible? And I'm not judging anyone if it's not their goal, if it's not their priority, that's fine. But if it is your goal, if it is a priority to you, then mirror those people that are doing what you want to accomplish, right? And you'll find that they're not rigid in their execution. You'll find that they're very flexible. And you'll find that it's actually, in this case, fitness, it's not their identity, right? It's just a working part of who they are. And they know because it's a part of who they are and because it's part of their identity, they're going to execute on it, right? And that goes back to a little bit deeper stuff that we can talk about with your why and understanding who you are and what motivates you, right? But just wanted to jump on here with that. Again, just to kind of summarize everything what I'm saying here. If you have a goal, be deliberate in your execution day to day, making it part of who you are, right? Knowing that you're going to get those things done no matter what. And then don't be rigid, right? Be flexible in that execution, knowing that, okay, I may not be able to do it in the order or in the way that I want to, right? Or I think that I should be able to execute in, but if I'm allowing myself to be fluid in my execution day to day, I'm going to get those things done. And as a result, be able to accomplish a lot more, right? As it reflects. Now, again, I'm talking about fitness here, but fitness is just a part of who I am. As you guys know, I'm not a full-time fitness influencer or anything like that. I am a dad. I am a husband, and I'm a working professional, high-level working professional. And that's part of who I am and what I want to accomplish. And I know and these two things have been something that I've had to, over the last, I would say even 10 years, and I'm still, obviously nobody's perfect at it, but something that I've been working to embed in my persona and in my understanding of how I need to pursue goals, if that makes sense. Anyways, be deliberate in your execution, be flexible. Again, your desires dictate your priorities dictate your actions, and then your actions dictate ultimately what you're going to become. Decide what you're going to become, then execute on that flexibly and deliberately. Hope this helps, guys. Follow along for more content like this. Love to hear your thoughts on these type of things. If you agree, disagree, or have additional comments, love to hear from you. Anyways, I'm gonna go home now, shower, and finish my work day. Have a good one. Follow on for more.